fascinating about this discussion was that it spanned from the very broad general question of how do you achieve both economic growth and sustainability in the blue economy, to the very detailed granular questions. And there were discussions that were very, very detailed on many areas, whether it was illegal fishing, whether it was deep sea mining. And I think in all of those, I got the sense that we had the right people in the room and they were determined to make progress. So it was very action-oriented, which sometimes conferences are all about talking. This is a conference that is about talking, understanding, and then coming up with solutions.
I think that the Economist is making a very significant contribution to not just our understanding of the ocean, but advancing conservation objectives.
When industry engages with innovators, that we can push things forward, and that was really apparent with the kind of group that we had here today. There was a lot of pragmatic people from different stakeholder groups, and I think it's having a forum like that that really will move the dial and enable us to deal with the kind of challenges that we all face.
Good thing I think you do is you focus all of us on practical next steps. So we're all here because we care about the marine habitat. We want to conserve that important part of nature. We want to do it in a hurry, and we want to do it at big scale. So of course, then the big question is, how do we best do that? And that's what we have focused on at this meeting, which is great.
Is the ocean a source of growth and development, or is the ocean something that must be untouched? And no matter where you are on this debate, it's unrealistic to think that having such a huge extension of territory, water territory, cannot be left alone, not for any country, even less for developing countries.
How can we develop in a proper way this economy linked to the ocean, which has to do with many different things, from fisheries, aquaculture, to recreation, to sports, to transports, of course, to energy, which is something extremely important, to geology, to biotechnology. That is something we want to discuss with our colleagues and want to see how should we develop together our policies.
We want to ensure that we now benefit from the resources in the sea, the fisheries, but also to ensure that our seas are kept, the environment there is kept, because up to now, because we have not focused on it, we have not put our eyes on it, some people were dumping what they don't want in their own environment, in our seas, in our oceans.
The interest, the activity, and the going forward enthusiasm for blue economy laid against the reality that we actually have very little insight, monitoring, or routine assessment of the ocean itself. So how will we check and confirm and track as we go forward in these pursuits?
I agree that there is capital out there that is willing to come into this space. What we need are more deals. I would emphasize the need for some conditions to happen before the big money can come in and before some of the really large and interesting deals can happen. In particular, regulatory uncertainty in some of the relevant jurisdictions where fisheries are important. That's something we really need to worry about, particularly if we're thinking about right-based interventions and enforcement. If there's leakage, the appetite of investors is just really going to dwindle very quickly.
The World Ocean Summit is taking place in the context of the Blue Week, which has the oceans as the very core of its agenda. As in the remaining sectors of our economy, over the past few years, we have been trying to make structural changes and to implement good public policies that align public and private interests and that put our economy and our country on the path of a more sustainable future and of a brighter and more blue economy.
A lot of the damage that's happening to the oceans today is coming from land-based activities, not necessarily from ocean-based activities. And I do think we run the risk if we start to isolate land activities and ocean activities. I think we need to be looking at the world holistically and making decisions about holistically what's going to be best for us as a society as we move forward.
Personally, I think effective food production, and if you have to do it in a sustainable way in the long term, you cannot do without aquaculture. it is already as much as 25% of what we have on the plate.
So it is very much in our industry's interest, it's very much in our company's interest to ensure that we promote and protect an asset that our customers are demanding, but also our shareholders should demand, because that's a critical component of our success.
We need the oceans don't need us, we need them. If we treat them well, they will treat us better. If we treat them badly, they will treat us worse. So the way forward is, yes, go for the benefits, but take on the responsibility.
We've really gone from a situation of doom and gloom to one of hope and opportunity. And that's really exciting. That's energized people here. And I think it really is going to unleash a lot more good things.
This World Ocean Summit offers the possibility to bring together businesses, cities, ocean users, ocean lovers, countries around the world to do something meaningful to reverse the current trajectory of ocean decline. Let's encourage leadership. Let's make bold decisions. Let's take action.